Oh, excuse me. Oh, shit. Bloody hell. Fuck, I hate doing this all the time. Oh, God. I'm exhausted. I haven't even started. I was thinking the other day, it must be really nice to actually be one of those, people that, has this unfaltering, complete faith in God. Like, just completely goes with the whole thing. It must be like, this must be really easy. Like, it must be you just go, oh, well, I just believe in, God. Because then that gives you kind of, this whole kind of easy out. You don't have to do a lot of thinking. You kind of just look up the God stuff and then it's all done for you. It must be a relief. I can understand. I'm so tired most of the time. I can understand why you'd go for that option because it's just too exhausting. I mean, having to come to your own moral and ethical and intellectual conclusions for everything is exhausting. I mean, if I could open a book and I was told what to think, I'm fucking right up for it. And particularly when it comes to, this whole thing of knowledge. Like, the older I get, it's that classic thing of, oh God, there goes a pair of underpants. The more I know that I don't know, this great infinite, like if I try and contemplate this incredible concept of infinity, like my brain actually hurts. I can't even think about it. I can't even get my head around infinity, except I know it's like an 8 for some weird reason that fell over, like an 8 that got pissed and collapsed and went, oh fuck, like that. And I don't know why, but for some reason that's infinity. And the concept of endless time, oh fuck, this is really weird. I wonder why that happened. Just going on and on. And so I remember where I grew up, in the country town where I grew up, where you drove in, there was this sign and it said, Jesus is the answer. And I used to think that was just some trite Christian propaganda, oh, bloody typical, Jesus is the answer. And now I realise I can't even handle doing washing today. It's like, Jesus, maybe, it was actually not just, kind of a trite little statement. It was probably quite a good solution because with my kids, I have been answering questions that I don't know for nearly 2 decades now. My 5-year-old is just not relenting. You would have thought for the last kid I could have got an idiot. One that, would have been much easier to have one without the kind of inquiring mind she's got. It's very exhausting. Not to mention embarrassing when a 5-year-old asks you a question and they can tell you haven't got a clue. I don't know the answer to most of the questions that she asks them. I just think, how good must it be when you can just say, oh, God, darling, God did it. I mean, how easy is that? Like, she asks really hard questions. They ask questions about, the other day she asked, where do words come from? Who made them up? I'm going, oh, I don't know, actually. I don't know about the evolution of language. I can't really remember. I can't even know how to explain language like that. It'd be so much easier to say, oh, it was God. Because that's actually, I do remember that bit from the Bible. In the beginning there was the Word. And I think the Word was God, something like that. Anyway, clearly, God did words. So that's so easy. That's like closure, end of story. There's nowhere to go with that. There's no, continual conversation. It's like you slam them down. Not these great open chasms of conversation. When she asked me she didn't have the classic kids, they all ask, which is, I asked it the other day, why is the sky blue? And I used to know that. I know it has something to do with I think it's light particles coming through, reflecting off something or other, something like that. I think there's a triangle and there's I remember there's a rainbow going through it. Or maybe that's like the Illuminati. I can't remember. Maybe the sky's blue because of the Illuminati did it. I can't actually remember. And I've got past that stage of wonder in my life where I even ask things like why. I just go, just fucking is, that's all. It just is. It is blue. I don't know. What is blue? Don't even start me on what is blue. This is when you really need to say God, just God, just God. God did it. God, I don't know. God chose the colour. You got a problem with that? You go talk to God because I didn't do that. And there's this concept of this big bloke, because I think it'd have to be a man, in this kind of totalitarian fashion, because all totalitarians, you know, do tend to be blokes, you know, sitting up there with these big beard on, just, you know, checking out, looking down there, just doing shit. You know, it's like, you know, it's a good, you know, it's a good concept. I can really roll with this, you know, and it makes, you know, although it is, because it's just endless, particularly questions about when she said something the other day, like, you know, I think it was something like, you know, when she asked about what happens when you die. Now, that is a really hard question to answer to a child without really distressing them. And I went, yeah, if I tell the truth, I said, I don't know, you know. You know, you just go in the dirt and people throw dirt on you, or they burn you. Yeah, that's a little bit full. And then nothing, I think. I think you're just in this endless, I don't know. Nothing. You have to just cope with the fact we don't know. I mean, that isn't, you can't tell a child that. That's really, they give you nightmares. You know, if you say, well, when you die, darling, you go to heaven with God and you sit up with the man with the beard at his feet and you play games and stuff, it's kind of, you know, it's like going to grandma's house and there's a pool and you've got TV and you've got nice food. That's so much more reassuring than fucking getting dirt thrown on you. So I can understand this whole God conversation. I'm really, you know, having been, you know, a non-believer, I can see how easy it would be to convert. You know, I'm sick of fucking thinking, you know. I'm gonna choke to death now. God probably did that. I was probably God, you know. Probably wasn't the residue of a nut I ate about an hour ago, making its way up as the bile comes out of me. It happened the other day though. I was in the car driving and she asked another one of those freaking questions, you know, about just about, she said a really hard one. She goes, Mum, I've got a really good question. I bet you don't know it, and that's not a good start. And I went, yeah, what? And she said, who put the music into the CD? Who puts the music? How do you get the music in the CD? I went, I don't know. Never ever thought to ask. I just put the CD in the car and it's on. I put the CD in the car. That's what I did. That's all I did. I didn't anything other than that. Like, I know a band goes into a room. Apart from that, I've got no fucking clue. Never even thought, like, who wants to know this shit? Like, clearly someone does it and there's a process. I don't even know how electricity gets into the house. I just plug shit in. It happens. You know, I can't explain it. I can't tell someone how it operates. I don't know. I haven't wanted to know. And I'm just like, going, I can't. I said, I don't know. And then I just gave up and I said, God did it. And then she goes, well, who made God? And I went, oh no, that is the question. You can't ask that one. That's the really hard one. God's the answer. Until you ask that, I don't know. I went, oh, why don't you go home and ask Dad? I think he knows. So hard. It's really hard. It's too much for people. See? God. Eh? Wish God would do my fucking washing. Eh? That'd be good. It's a hard concept of God, isn't it, really? Because it's a concept that there's this kind of sicko pervert just up there watching us suffer, you know. Under the whole pretense it was will. You know, no, I gave you free will. Bullshit. You can't say that. That sounds like Tony Abbott not wanting to send people over to help with Ebola. No, I'll let you work that. That sort of attitude. Anyway, don't ask me anything. I do not know the answer. I can't remember anything I used to know anymore. Thank God for Google, that's all I can say. The internet, actually the internet could be God. That could be it. The internet has all the answers. Unless they start, you know, nationalising it and making like a China internet and an American internet. And that way it'd be like religion, it would be like religion then. It would only give you knowledge according to the country you lived in. Oh, I can't even think about this anymore. I'm getting a bit nauseous.